Wow, what a Monday. I was getting ready to come down here and record, and all kinds of news broke. Welcome to the Michele Tafoya podcast. It is Monday, December 9th, 2024. Happy birthday to my brother, Matthew. Got that out of the way. Also, can I get this out of the way? Please hit the subscribe button. It really does help us when you subscribe. It's free. And it makes sure that whether you're on Spotify or Rumble or Apple Podcasts or YouTube, that you get the episodes right into your mailbox. So please subscribe, give us a review, pass us along, talk to us, talk to people about us. We really appreciate it. Two names today, Daniel Penny and Jordan Neely. Those are the names of the hour. And we just got a verdict. Daniel Penny was found unanimously not guilty on the lesser charge of negligent homicide. This is big. And the protests are beginning. We're going to tell you what they're saying. Plus, we're going to tell you what other people are saying about the protesters. This has the opportunity to be bad in New York City. It also has the opportunity to bring peace to New York City if the right people step up. Hello, Mayor Eric Adams. Hello, Alvin Bragg, who brought this ridiculous case in the first place. Hello to every leader in New York City and New York, and even nationally. We're going to get into that because I believe, and so many legal scholars believe, this case never should have been brought against Daniel Penny. We'll get into that. I want to remind you about a product that I love before we go any further, and that is sleep cream. If you have trouble going to sleep like I do, well, like I used to before sleep cream, you want to listen up. Okay, so how in the heck can a cream help you sleep? Don't I have to take something? Don't I need to, just swallow a bunch of melatonin before I go to sleep? Not anymore. Sleep cream, and it's sleep, CREME.com is the place to go for your solution. Okay, so this stuff uses really pure CBD. And that's good. No THC in this. And I know you've heard stuff about CBD, like, is that safe to use? Folks, this is completely safe. And more than that, it's effective. And that's what I love about it, is that since I've been using this sleep cream, I sleep better. So it's a revolutionary product, like I said, made of all natural ingredients with pure CBD crystals. So what I do at bedtime is I put a little bit on the insides of my wrists and the insides of my forearms and elbows, maybe on my feet. It's guaranteed to work or your money back, and no questions asked. So how can a cream help me sleep better? I'm telling you, this is a must try. No questions asked. If you don't find it working for you, you get your money back. Okay, so try it for yourself. Go to sleepcream.com, sleep, CREME.com. Use the code GAMEDAY and you will get free standard shipping on your order. That's the code GAMEDAY, all one word, for free standard shipping. Are you ready for your best sleep ever? Sleepcream.com. That's sleep, CREME.com. I kind of swear by it. Okay, back to this Daniel Penny verdict. Everyone knows about this case. Sometimes we get bitter that New York City gets so much attention, but it is a massive city, and it's sort of a microcosm of the country, not of everywhere, but of big cities. In this case, imagine you get on the subway. I know so many people ride the subway. My dearest friends in New York City ride the subway. And a guy gets on and he starts threatening people. He starts saying, I'm going to hurt someone today. I don't care if I go to Rikers. I don't care if I go to... You've heard it. You've seen it. You've seen it talked about. And a former Marine, Daniel Penny, stepped in and used some of his Marine training to subdue the guy. He used what's called a chokehold until the police could come. When the police arrived, Jordan Neely was still alive. And they took him in and he died. Okay, now, you've had two medical experts in the courtroom. One said, oh, it was the chokehold that killed him. The other saying, no, you can't prove that because he had medicinals in his body. He had some drugs in his body. He was mentally ill. There was a lot going on. Well, the jury spoke today, folks. And they said unanimously not guilty. Now, the father, I guess, spoke up in the courtroom, and he was removed from the courtroom. His father's name is Andre Zachary. And then he came outside, and as you would imagine, there was a group of speakers ready to go, BLM activists. Again, they're making this about race. And I would contend this has been about race from the get-go. A white Marine takes control of a very dangerous, uncomfortable situation in a subway car. And there were people of all colors on this subway car that felt threatened, that felt afraid. So Daniel Penny took charge. There was another guy you can see holding the arms down. They were trying to keep this man subdued until the authorities could come. They were trying to protect people. And then Daniel Penny, Alvin Bragg, the DA in New York, decided, you know what? Let's arrest and prosecute this guy. He murdered him. There's a lot of reaction. Let's start with the reaction from Daniel Penny's father. Excuse me, Jordan Neely's father, the victim's father here. And I use the term victim just to differentiate these two people. They're making this about race, folks. Let's run this soundbite from Andre Zachary, the father of the fallen Jordan Neely.
I just want to say, I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged. Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
Let's do something about it.
Okay, let's do something about it. Well, what they're threatening to do in New York City this morning as I'm recording this is to set fire to the city, to burn cars, to break glass, to protest, maybe even hurt people. And they have said, you know what, Daniel Penny, you maybe have found not guilty in a court of law, but you're not going to live peacefully in New York. So very likely Daniel Penny's going to have to move somewhere far, far away. And his face has been plastered all over the national news for over a year now. And he's not going to be able to be unrecognized anywhere. People are going to know where he is. I want to give you some of the reaction I'm seeing on X because it's pretty loud. And you heard the protesters in the background there in New York City, and they're saying the system's rigged. What are we going to do? It's another black man dying at the hands of a white man. And I would contend to you this. If Jordan Neely had been a white man and gotten in that car and underground where there are no officers in these cars to protect people and had said the same things, someone's going to die today. I don't care. I don't care if I go to jail. I don't care. All of the things that we've heard about. And Daniel Penny, a former Marine who was bigger and stronger, did nothing. And then someone did get hurt. Then what? Do we think he only stepped in because Jordan Neely was black? That's what these people are asserting. And they're asserting that he committed murder. Well, the jury said no. So let me just give you a sampling here. Here's one saying the debate is over. Whoever BLM and Jordan Neely's absent father will cash in on yet another black person's death. It's interesting with his father standing up there, and you have to ask yourself, well, Dad, if you miss him so much and you care so much, where were you while your son was homeless? Where were you while your son was taking drugs? Where were you? Where was this family? Now, maybe you can't be with him 24/7, but from all accounts, this guy was homeless. He didn't have family support. But now the family's being asked to come forward and say, the system is rigged. This is another racially motivated case. Here's another one. Jordan Neely supporter says Neely was killed for simply asking for food after Daniel Penny was found not guilty. BLM is currently threatening to burn down New York City BLM has threatened to burn down parts of the city. That's according to some newscasts. So there are a group of supporters out there, and you know BLM's going to jump on this, that are saying there's got to be hell to pay. There's got to be hell to pay for this verdict. Here's another one. Jordan Neely's father was drugs, alcohol, and the streets. So while we just played for you the soundbite of Jordan Neely's father, Andre Zachary, saying, I miss my son. This shouldn't have had to happen to him. I shouldn't be going through this. This person on X is saying the real father of Jordan Neely ended up being the streets and drugs and alcohol. He had drugs in his system. He was mentally ill. He was homeless. Where was his father then? Where was BLM then? If Black Lives Matter, what about homeless blacks in New York City who are going through this kind of thing? Let me read you some more. When does a medical examiner, a city official, report and declaration not taken as evidence? What is so important that the official repost is disregarded? Jordan Neely died as a result of a chokehold, NYC medical examiner testifies. So, yes, there was a medical examiner who testified to that. There was another medical examiner who testified to the opposite. You know, sometimes you say follow the money. And sometimes you say, follow the politics. This incident occurred, and Daniel Penny was hailed as a hero who protected a bunch of people who maybe weren't able to protect themselves that day, or who weren't brave enough to step in and take control of a dangerous situation. And so many witnesses, Black witnesses, came off of that subway car and said, hey, Daniel Penny didn't do anything wrong. I was scared for my life. I was protecting my kid. He did nothing wrong. And for 10 days, they didn't arrest him until race came to be the topic of the day once again. And people started to put pressure on Alvin Bragg, and he caved to that pressure and said, arrest this guy. Let's try him. And you hear legal scholars all over the place saying, what about Good Samaritan laws? Oh, what about him? If Daniel Penny had been found guilty and thrown in jail for however long because he protected people, you could say goodbye to anyone stepping up and being a good Samaritan. I mean, why would you take that risk if you know that Alvin Bragg's going to step in and arrest you? Again, Daniel Penny white, Jordan Neely black. The equation works. We can agitate people, and that's exactly what they're doing. You know, we're seeing all kinds of responses. God is good. Jesus is king. Daniel Penny is an American hero. Jordan Neely got what he deserved. I don't like that. Jordan Neely didn't get what he deserved. He deserved some intervention long before this even happened. So I'm reading you that. It doesn't mean that I endorse it or agree with it. I'm just scrolling through these responses to this. Which of our politicians will do the actual work to determine how our government institutions repeatedly failed, created the conditions that led to the death of Jordan Neely, and act on the findings to ensure that nothing like this ever happens again? There are millions of people that can offer opinions and platitudes on the failure, but there are very few, those in power, that can do something about it. Yeah. So, Eric Adams, first of all, you need to get out in front of these crowds and say, we will not tolerate protests and burnings over this. We will not accept that. You will be arrested. You know, if you feel rage, you can find ways to channel it that are far more productive, folks. If you really feel the system is rigged against you, which in this case, I gotta say is laughable, because you had a black district attorney bring these charges against this white man. You had a jury, and they deliberated and deliberated and deliberated. And the verdict was not guilty. Now, you guys probably know I live here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Derek Chauvin was thrown, he's still in jail for his chokehold of George Floyd. So we tend to make these people like George Floyd and Jordan Neely into martyrs. Does anyone recall that Jordan Neely had multiple previous arrests, multiple priors? This is not an angel. This is not an angel. Here's one that says, yes, Jordan Neely was healing sick orphans, turning water into wine, and washing the feet of lepers when he was murdered in cold blood simply for helping others. Obviously, the sarcasm is rich there. The sarcasm is rich. So I know how uncertain things feel right now. Prices are up, the markets are unpredictable, and we're even hearing whispers about World War III. I mean, like many of you, I wanted to understand how to prepare my portfolio for these really turbulent times, which led me to learn more about American independence gold. Gold and silver have historically stood the test of time through wars, recessions, market crashes. They're not just investments. They represent stability and peace of mind for families like mine and yours. And right now, I'm holding a gold bar from American Independence Gold in my hands. It's real, it's heavy, and it could be yours when you open a gold IRA worth $10,000 or more. American Independence Gold is a veteran-owned company that supports our military families and first responders. Plus, they cover custodial fees for life on qualifying accounts. Take your first step toward diversifying your portfolio today with American Independence Gold. Text GOLD to 717767 for a free investment guide. Again, just text the word GOLD to 717767. Learn how gold and silver could fit into your portfolio with American Independence Gold. Text GOLD to 717767. Do it now. All right, so more on the Daniel Penny verdict. There's just so much reaction on X, and some of it's not appropriate. The person that I read earlier who said that Daniel Penny, that Jordan Neely got what he deserved. No, let's knock that off. No one deserved to die that day. But one of our good friends, Officer Dion Joseph from out in the Los Angeles area, posted a video this morning after the verdict. And given that he is a Black police officer in Los Angeles, where mental health is a massive problem, I thought it'd be good to hear from him. So let's go ahead and roll this. I've got two parts of it for you. Let's roll our friend Dion.
I am so sick and tired of BLM rearing their ugly head, exploiting another dead Black man. Because that's all this is about at the end. The truth about the Daniel Penny and Jordan Neely case is this. The system failed both of them. I got 27 years of experience working in the mental health capital of the world, and I'm watching Jordan Neely's on a day-to-day basis. Any one of them could be a ticking time bomb. And of course, when you have law enforcement who is short-staffed, you have a justice system that's broken where nobody's getting justice and there's virtually no protection, there are times where people are forced to step in and try to do it themselves.
You know what? I think that is being so overlooked in this case. Like, when are we going to talk about mental health and what a crisis it is in America and how much we need to overhaul? Yeah, it's expensive. But it is an issue. Officer Dion Joseph sees it every day on Skid Row in Los Angeles. We're seeing an example of it here in this case. We've got to deal with it. We've got to protect people. I'm not sure what happened to mental health in the United States of America, or why we stopped putting people in facilities that would keep them safe and that would keep the public safe. I get the sense that some people think, oh, that infringes on their rights and their freedoms. Well, but if they're out without any kind of supervision or care being the operative word there, they're infringing on other people's freedoms. We have to get smart about this. We have to get back to common sense about this. We have to protect the mentally ill, and we have to protect people from the mentally ill. But right where he started was important. I am so tired of people exploiting these situations, BLM coming in and exploiting the death of a black man at the hands of a white man. And that's been a problem people have had with BLM for a long, long time. If Black Lives Matter, why aren't you just stationed in Chicago and trying to mediate these gang wars? Okay, there's more to it from Officer Dion Joseph from California. Let's roll the rest, John.
The system failed Jordan Neely first. This guy had 42 felonies and was probably driven by his mental illness. He should have had some kind of help or support by a broken mental health system. He should have had that support. If that would have happened, he probably would have been stabilized and he wouldn't have got on that train that day and made a bunch of people feel threatened. But the system also failed Penny. When Penny felt the need to step in and defend people who felt threatened by Neely, who, based on witness accounts, was exhibiting hostile intent and threatening behavior. So he stepped in and did what he, in his mind, thought was the right thing. And the jury came, in my opinion, to the right conclusion. I'm taking race completely out of it. I'm not looking at race. I'm looking at the actions and intentions. Actions and intentions based on everything that I heard. And this has zero to do with race. I wouldn't care if Neely was white, and I wouldn't give a shit if Penny was black.
I'm with him. And I thought it was a good idea to incorporate a voice from all the way across the country. A law enforcement officer who works on Skid Row who happens to be black, by the way. And I will say, for as many people as are protesting outside that courthouse in New York City right now saying this is an affront against black people, that one woman said, America hates black people. I mean, I hope in general that we can see through this purposeful agitation. There's so many answers to what that woman said. I don't even want to go there, because I think your common sense is probably telling you, no, we don't. And this was just. And the legal system worked. And I'll tell you, Alvin Bragg tried every which way to Sunday to get a conviction here, and it didn't happen. The jury found him not guilty. So again, the reaction is coming fast and furious. There is a BLM leader in New York City named Hawk Newsom. He's calling for black vigilantes to get active. Okay? That's not good. That's not good. I mean, to focus in on a singular incident and say that this is reflective of all things going on across America and of all race relations in America. Again, this is very reminiscent of George Floyd in that you are taking a person who had many, many, many problems, many, many, many priors, and turning them into a martyr, an angel. And you're taking a person who, I won't speak to Derek Chauvin, I'm only going to speak to Daniel Penny, who in this case I think was so brave and did the right thing and did it in order to protect people. And as a trained Marine, that is his instinct. And he did it, and they put him through the ringer. Didn't arrest him for 10 days. He didn't even know when he got off that train that Jordan Neely had died later. He volunteered to go to the police station and talk. So I feel as though there are a lot of voices online that are celebrating that Daniel Penny was acquitted. I'm one of them, because I want people to step up and do the right thing when they think they need to do the right thing. And there was an unfortunate consequence, but that does not mean that Daniel Penny intended to kill Jordan Neely. And obviously the jury came to that same conclusion in spite of all the attempts to paint the picture otherwise. So it's winter, it's the holiday season, and I'm going to direct your gift-giving mind to besthotgrill.com, besthotgrill.com for a wonderful ideas to go under the tree or any kind of holiday gift giving. It's this great small grill that you'll find at besthotgrill.com. So Solair tailgate infrared grills set up so fast and heat up so quickly. Only 3 minutes to get to searing hot temperatures, just like the big backyard Solairs. When you go to besthotgrill.com, you're going to see all that Solair has to offer. But these Solair small grills, anyone would love getting this gift. They're lightweight, they're easy to use, and you can become the master of the tailgate or the camping trip with the juiciest, most flavorful food anywhere. The fast grilling times leave you more time to enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. They also cool down really fast so that you won't miss a minute of whether it's the game, the picnic, anything. They are made in the USA. They're anywhere, everywhere, and all about infrared grills are portable, and they're perfect for any grilling on the go. Like I said, picnics, camping, RVs, boating, and tailgating. So amaze your friends and give a great gift to anyone on your list. The gift of great food from the grill with your Solair infrared grill. Learn more about these fantastic grills and Solair's try before you buy demo rental program at besthotgrill.com. Besthotgrill.com, a perfect gift for under the tree. Besthotgrill.com. So as I said, a ton of response online to this verdict for Daniel Penny. And by the way, the other story we're watching is they have arrested or they have in custody a person of interest in that healthcare, that insurance CEO that also happened in New York City. So keep your eye on that news. But this one deserves a little bit, just a couple more minutes of our time today. I told you that Hawk Newsome, the BLM activist in New York, was saying that, we got to retaliate and we want vigilantes. And someone replied, so Penny shouldn't have been allowed a robust defense from charges that wouldn't have been brought if the races are reversed? If only Jordan Neely's family, who now want to cash in, and friends had tried to help him versus allowing him to roam and threaten others. It is interesting. Now we have a civil suit coming against Penny. This is about money and politics, folks. That's what this is about. And exploiting this incident for both of those things, for political gain and very potentially financial gain. Here, Daniel Penny got on the subway that day, just going about his business. And somewhere along the line, a guy gets on and starts threatening people to the extent that people were very, very afraid. And Daniel Penny did what he thought was the right thing. He stepped in and decided, I can hold this guy down. I can contain him. Other people tried to help out. I can contain him until the authorities get here. I can make sure nobody gets hurt. And now he's finding himself at the center of this controversy. I wonder how he looks back at this. Would he do it again? Would he make the same decision if he knew all of this was going to happen? You have to wonder. More reaction. This guy didn't care about Jordan Neely or other black men like him until he saw a way to make a dollar. Jordan Neely might be alive today if he were in jail or a mental institution where he belonged. He was a social pariah. Daniel Penny found not guilty in Jordan Neely's death. I applaud the courageous jurors that overcame the bias and corruption from the Soros-backed and paid-for DA Alvin Bragg and corrupt Judge Wiley, and no thanks to Governor Hochul as usual. Here's another person saying, quit stirring up crap. I'm editing it there for you. And talk with common sense. Not a lot of people disagreeing with the verdict, black or white. In my opinion, Daniel Penny didn't deserve to be convicted, but I don't think Jordan Neely deserved to die. Sounds like he was mentally ill who needed help a long time ago. And one more person saying, if they erect a Jordan Neely statue like George Floyd, I will lose my mind. Oh, and then, of course, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wrote on social media after Neely's death that Jordan Neely was murdered. She said Neely was houseless and crying for food in a time when the city is raising rents and stripping services. Another person says, thank God the jury used common sense and did not politicize this case. Alvin Bragg should be investigated for deciding to prosecute this case. A lot of opinions, but it seems to me that the majority believe that Daniel Penny did not deserve to be convicted, that he should have felt comfortable or at least right in doing what was brave and courageous in the moment, that people should have had gratitude for that, and many did. They were interviewed coming off the train, and that Alvin Bragg should never have brought this on. So while the BLM crowd is saying, what are we going to do about this? I would ask you, what are we going to do about activist judges, activist DAs who are soft on crime, who let undocumented migrants go after they beat the crap out of police officers and let them roam the streets? And then you got a guy like Daniel Penny who tries to do the right thing and they try to throw him in jail. I would encourage you to be like the jurors, be like Daniel Penny, be brave and do good. And we will see you next time.